I'm skipping spring and going straight to summer this year. Welcome to week 6 of my 12-week design challenge, where I'm going from a digital concept into a physical garment. This is the garment we're going to be looking at this week. So if you remember last week, I shared that the set I would be making this week would be using this embroidered tulle from Stephie's Lingerie, which is a Deadstock lace that was used in a Honey Bridette collection. So I was super excited to use it. So the first thing I did was take the lace and digitize it so I could actually use it in Chloe, as well as all of the elastics that she sent me. For the design, I knew I wanted to start it with the Orlea garter belt, which is a pattern published by Stephie's Lingerie. I thought it was perfect because I could really maximize the use of the scalloped edge of the embroidery. So like I've done in the past, I imported the pattern as a graphic image and traced it off in Chloe. And somebody actually asked me in the comments of one of my previous videos why I don't just import it as an AI PDF. And I promised I would show why I didn't do that. So previously I tried doing this with the Black Beauty and I just got an error message. It wouldn't import it as an AI PDF. I think it has to do with the way the file was created in the first place. So then when I brought in the Black Beauty as a graphic image, I tried converting the graphic image into internal lines, which I found just to be more of a pain in the ass to fix rather than to just trace it off. So this is just a workflow that I've gotten used to, because I often find that trying to import patterns as a PDF, I always have errors. I will always get errors. So I just find it easiest to just trace off the pattern. But in this case, with the Orlea garter belt pattern, I actually had no problem importing the AI PDF file and it brought in the whole pattern. All I had to do was delete the sizes that I didn't need. So it depends on how the file was created in the first place, but I think it's good to see different workflows as well. So then I brought the embroidery into Chloe and I set the length of it that I actually had available to me. So I had, I think, 240 centimeters of this lace. So I set that length in Chloe and I placed all the pattern pieces to make sure that I would have enough to create the design that I wanted to create. So I started with the garter belt. And it took a lot of time just refining exactly how I wanted the placement to look. One small design detail that I changed from the original pattern is that I put the elastic on the outside of the garment just because I wanted that neon contrast to pop a little bit more. So I was super excited about how this was coming together with this first look at the garter belt in 3D. And then I designed a panty to go with it, but I didn't get footage of that. And then what I did next was I actually took the bra that I made last week and I just added this new lace to it. And then I placed all my pattern pieces again, just to make sure I had enough of this embroidery to make the design that I wanted. And then just to change it up a little bit, I tried out a different strap attachment at the back. And so here were the two options that I originally came up with. On this side, it's basically the exact same garment that I made last week with the scalloped edge along the neckline. And on this side, I have the scalloped edge along the bottom band as well as along the neckline. And I ended up going with this one just because I wanted to try out this different back strap attachment. And you'll see how it came out after. Now time for my favorite part of the video, the montage, where you get to see it all come together physically in the next like 30 seconds or so. But in reality, it took me hours and hours of work. Let me know if you can see the mistake that I made here in the placement of these pattern pieces, because it carries over into the mistake I made when I was actually sewing the garment.
Always prepared, you never know who shows up around the corner. Maybe it's that director. Oh, I can sing, I can dance, I can learn the smooth moves. I would do anything you ask me to do. Jump out on the stage, get locked up in.
And here's how the bra turned out. I think it's honestly, and I'm not even exaggerating, the prettiest thing I have ever made. This thing is so gorgeous. I love the back detail. I think the placement of the attachment points could be adjusted. Let me know how you would fix that in the comments. I think these colors just go so amazing together, and I feel like I'm just ready to go to a carnival. So I love so many details about this garment. I really like the asymmetric panty lines right here. I think that looks really cool. And I do really like the way that the elastics look on the outside of the garter belt. And I think this back is really cool. It does have a flaw in that it's a little bit hard to put on. And on my body, this collapses a lot more. So I would need to think about a different way to attach that at the back. But all in all, I think it came out really great. I think week 6 is my favorite of the challenge so far. And I gotta give a shout out to Stephie's materials. I didn't actually use her sheer cup lining. Let me show. Her materials are so soft, but especially the sheer cup lining. I'm sorry, it's all crumply right now, but it's honestly the softest sheer cup lining I have ever felt, and I really want to work with it. I didn't use it in this set because I had some lighter nudes in my studio that I thought looked better with my skin tone. And then all of her elastics are super good quality. She does sell a kit for the whole garter belt, so if you want to try out a pattern like this, it's a really good starter pattern. It's very easy to put together unless you make a mistake that I did. Did you catch it earlier in the video? I laid out all my cutting pieces incorrectly, and then I proceeded to start sewing them incorrectly. But then when I caught myself, I was able to go back into Clo and check. And sure enough, I realized that I had laid them out incorrectly in the first place. So let me know if you caught that in the comments. But also her, like this hook and eye is the softest hook and eye, and it has really nice finishing details on it. It has a very clean finish to it. And all of her elastics are super good quality. And then even like the picot along the edges of this elastic and on the strap. I usually don't like extra embellishments like that. I like a clean look, but I think it really works with this design. I'm still not using bows. I'm not using bows. I don't use bows on my garments. You'll notice I never do. That's it for this week. I think it came out amazing. And next week I plan on making a corset. So make sure you check back in for that. If you want to know more about making intimate apparel, specifically using Clo 3D, go check out my courses at wayfinder3d.com. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.
Goodbye. Make sure to like and subscribe, please.